Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Coming up here with the major Season 5 update within Black Ops 6 and Warzone, we are going to end up seeing our next major weapons update and meta update. This, of course, is going to include several new weapons, new aftermarket parts or ammo mods as they're referred to as in this game, then, of course, new weapon balancing as well. And today, I wanted to go over all of the confirmed weapon updates coming with Season 5, all the new details that we've got there, and a little bit of what to expect across the board for potential meta updates as well. So as we do dive into all the details here today, if you guys enjoy the video, you find the info helpful, a like rating is always seriously appreciated. It really does help grow the channel, and share the video around to new viewers. And if you happen to be one of those new viewers, each and every single day, I got you covered with all things going on in the world of Call of Duty. So feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications, and help get us one step closer to hitting 1 million subscribers. But first up here, as far as this general Season 5 weapons update goes and meta update goes, we got to talk about the brand new weapons. Now, I will say this season's new weapon selection is a little bit underwhelming by comparison to previous seasonal updates. I'm not sure if they're going to be maybe saving some surprises for Season 5 Reloaded, like the MP40 was leaked and seemingly was coming with Season 5 according to the files, and that is MIA. That's nowhere to be found so far. So maybe the Reloaded blog in a few weeks' time is going to detail more stuff there and maybe a few surprises, but for now we do have a handful of new weapons dropping, including the PML556. This is going to be a brand new LMG available for free via the battle pass. So yes, an LMG new DLC weapon at long last here. With this, it's of course going to have all the basic stuff, full new attachments in basically every single category, new skins, camos, reticle unlocks as well. Here's how they describe the PML556. This is a full auto light machine gun, fast rate of fire, and high lethality offset by low mobility and hefty recoil. So they're saying outright this thing's probably not going to be the easiest to use, which could be a problem because the long range meta right now is a whole lot of super low recoil options here. Anyways, they also say when a rival operator is holding down the trigger on the PML556, you'll know, mainly due to the damage and huge ammunition reserves, mitigated somewhat by a lengthy reload, like basically every single LMG. You'd be wise to use the incoming fire from the PML556 as a sure sign to get down and stay down, and usually for longer than normal unless you're the one doing the firing. With a damage output that's among the highest compared to all available full auto weapons, it's the PML556's prestigious rate of fire, spitting out rounds with rapid severity that really proves its worth. With a heavy body and disadvantageous recoil, strong upward recoil with a slight drift to the right, you'll need to utilize attachments or your operator's strength to focus on the firing. So this to me almost sounds like it could be the Warzone 1 AMAX in a sense. I say that because it was a higher recoil option but also had crazy good damage. So this may be one of those scenarios where this thing is not easy to use. It is a bit of a higher skill gap option, but it's got a crazy good TTK, and based on the description that seems to be relatively accurate here. So that's going to be our first brand new weapon. We also have the ABR A1. This is going to be a brand new assault rifle, also free through the battle pass, of course. And with this is essentially the AUG returning here. Here's how they describe it. This is a 3-round burst assault rifle with good handling and power, moderate recoil and range. It can also be configurable to full auto as well. So you could use this in burst mode like the AUG was back in Cold War, which was really good there. Basically one of the broken metas that we had at the time, or you could use it in full auto if you want as well. They say the iconic assault rifle returns, with a similar weapon being a fan favorite staple of the Black Ops series. The ABR A1 combines a high damage output that can drop enemies in tight 3-round bursts with a brief pause in between, almost fast enough to be called automatic. If an even faster firing output is called for, unlock one of the fire mods that converts the weapon to full auto. This is a highly versatile weapon capable of winning skirmishes, though not at the furthest of ranges. Its recoil requires some getting used to, but the upward kick can be easily managed, and the handling is more than acceptable. The integrated sight is already available within the base weapon, along with the right attachments that can help mitigate any weaknesses in these areas. So it seems like it might behave pretty similar to that of the OG AUG from Black Ops Cold War. Certainly one that I think is going to be a dominant choice here. Typically the main categories being ARs, SMGs, snipers. When we see new DLC weapons for those categories in specific, the new weapons are usually meta choices. So I would not be surprised in the slightest if this ends up being an absolute meta option here. Next up, bit more of a gimmicky new weapon, but in season we are going to see the boxing gloves as a new event reward here. This is just going to act as another melee weapon essentially. It's going to have moderate damage, a fast attack speed with decently good range as well. But other than that, I mean, they're boxing gloves. It's pretty straightforward. We've actually had the boxing gloves as a DLC weapon before. Like, this was a Black Ops 3 one, I want to say, back in the day, so not anything groundbreaking there. And then our final full-on new weapon is going to be the Gravemark 357 revolver, aka the Pyork pistol that was leaked forever ago via Warzone Mobile. This is also going to be an event reward, but this will be coming with Season 5 Reloaded with the mid-season update here. They say this is a single action revolver, high power and considerable range, limited by lower ammo count and a segmented reload. Showdown at high noon, no rifles. The Gravemark 357 revolver harkens back to a simpler time, foregoing fancy mechanisms for a classic 8-shooter capable of dealing high damage at a respectable range. Due to the weapon's moderate rate of fire, you'll need to make your shots count, so line up with the target and hit that bullseye. Equip the rapid fire attachment to improve the revolver's rate of fire and dampen its heavy kick with recoil springs. For pure power, accuracy is forfeited in favor of akimbo to dual wield this lethal weapon. Whether you're wielding 1 or 2 revolvers, don't miss the weapon inspection, a truly dazzling feat of dexterity. So hey, if this is anything like the OG like 44 Magnum from MW2, the Akimbo Magnum, a revolver back then, one of my absolute favorite weapons to mess around with back in the day, this could be cool. Typically pistols are not that broken, especially ones of this nature, so unless there's like a broken attachment or something, I wouldn't expect this one to be super competitive, but you never know. They might want to, you know, have a huge point of emphasis on the event to try and get your playtime out of you, so they make it super overpowered or something there. We're gonna have to wait and see for the mid-season. Now, in addition to the base weapons coming with Season 5, we've also got some new aftermarket parts or ammo mods coming essentially here. The first of which is going to be available in the Battle Pass. This is the 9mm skull splitter attachment. They say for this, bring the power and precision of a marksman rifle to your favorite pistol with the 9mm PM skull splitter barrel. The barrel greatly increases damage, especially to the head, but it does reduce the rate of fire. Pair with an extended mag that gives the operator additional ammo for this weapon at the expense of handling, so might add some range, definitely going to add some damage to the 9mm PM. If the fire rate's not that crazy though, I'm curious if this is going to actually be a competitive choice, just because if you're missing shots with it, that extra damage won't really matter much. You're going to get outgunned by other pistols, SMGs, shotguns in those close range areas, but it could be an interesting one that we're going to have to watch for. And we also have the PPSH helical magazine coming in season as a new event reward. They say fire to the beat of your own drum with this SMG attachment that puts other magazines to shame. Manage heat on this high ammo count magazine that excels at spraying bullets in close and medium ranges. So a bit more of a fun choice there for the PPSH that could turn that one into even more of a spray and pray machine. I mean, the base weapon kind of already is that as is. I've referred to it as that in several different meta videos, so could just bring that to the next level as well, which could be pretty cool. Now, beyond all the new weapons, the aftermarket parts, another big part of the weapon and meta update coming with Season 5 is the actual weapon balancing patch. Now, with this, we don't have any specifics yet. We won't until the patch notes are out just before the update drops. Of course, I'll be covering those patch notes right as they drop with all the meta changes, all the bug fixes and everything, so stay tuned for that. But as far as expectations here go, for the most part, it seems like they are still slowly but surely buffing MW2 and MW3 weapons to make them a bit more competitive. We obviously just saw the big removal of MW2 and MW3 from the COD HQ, so hopefully that means if they go through and they buff those weapons, there won't be any negative impacts potentially lingering over to multiplayer or having any issues in the standalone titles there now, and they can focus a bit more on those. Typically around these seasons, the later seasons, Season 4 Reloaded, Season 5, Season 6, that's typically where the meta becomes a lot more balanced. They stop focusing so heavily on monopolizing the meta with the new games guns like Black Ops 6 this year, for instance. So hopefully this means some more MW2 and MW3 weapon buffs inbound. For the most part though, I mean, the rifle meta, the sniper meta, those are a lot more strong and competitive right now. There's pretty good balance across the board there. The SMG meta is where things are still pretty unbalanced. It's the LC10 and then it's everything else, and then everything else is mostly the C9 and the Ladra. And then there's another gap there. There's basically no room for MW2 or MW3 subs and not much room for anything behind the LC10. So I'd love to see some adjustments there to either buff the other SMGs to bring it up in line with the LC10 or a slight nerf there to balance that out. Other than that though, I mean, for the most part, the meta is pretty straightforward and it's relatively balanced. it's just a little bit boring right now. Maybe we see some strong buffs to some underutilized guns. Like, love to see another Ames buff, another Model L buff, and definitely some older games guns as well. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that, but that's initially what I'd expect there, just based on sort of the like obvious history that they have on buffing things later into a game's lifespan. But that said, that is going to wrap things up for this one. That's everything to expect and everything we have confirmed for the Season 5 weapons updates. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like on it. And if you're new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications to always stay up to date with all things going on in COD. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.